a food truck gallery where we talked to two food truck owners in Westwood, and kind of like discussed what their daily life is like and how they got into selling fruit out of like a food truck. I got to work with like the social team and the blogging team for this, and it was layered with a whole like quad article. So I think it just had a lot of like creative pieces to it, and that made it really special.
I think what really stands out to me is the sports and being able to be right up at the action and seeing things and having new experiences. Two games in particular. My very first sports game, I had talked to a bunch of seasoned veterans, and they kind of told me how to go through the softball game. I actually ended up doing that shoot solo because the person I was going to be shadowing wasn't there, and it was a really good like being thrown into the fray, and it was really fun just having that experience of being completely free to experiment and to try new things, and having some of my favorite photos from the whole year actually came out of that shoot. And then a few weeks later, I was able to, because I'd done a lot of sports photography previously, and so I went and I was training someone. And it was really cool how quickly I could get into it. I really enjoyed that feeling of like learning from others and then sharing what I knew.
Biden had just finished his whole speech, and he was kind of just shaking hands within the crowd. And so all the photographers kind of spread out, like we no longer had to stay in a specific area or anything. And I remember like climbing through an opening in the bleachers, and I was literally hurling myself through the crowd to try and get as close as possible. And I remember being like less than like a couple feet away from him, and I just was pointing my camera at the phone he was holding because he was taking a selfie with a supporter. And I got to focus in on the phone and actually caught like the picture that he was taking. So like you could see him in the frame, like within the phone. So it was like a picture of a picture. But that was like, I think my favorite shot from the night. I like never seen him in person before. So it was a really cool experience. And just the environment we were in, like being surrounded by a bunch of professional photographers. There were guys from like the New York Times and like the Washington Post there. So it was just a really cool, really exciting place to be.
Projects in general, I hope photos just help show UCLA what's happening in their world, give a little bit of a broader context and perspective for what life is like outside of Westwood as well as within it, and how what we discuss on campus, in social circles or in classes, how that all interplays.
I hope that these types of projects help bring more of student life to the readers, because a lot of being at a university really is just an everyday life type of thing, and getting used to the people around you and the circumstances, like no matter what. I think college students are really resilient, so these types of stories like resonate well with them.